How do you correctly attach the front to the H186 Nova Pro Scala? You'll learn all this and more in the video. Today, we'll be learning how to attach the front to the closed version of the H186 Nova Pro Scala and to the Crystal Plus. I've prepared the front in advance and gathered some of the tools needed for the next steps. We've got the Nova Pro Crystal Plus on the left-hand side and the closed version of the H186 on the right-hand side. You'll see that the steps for attaching the front are the same whichever variant you're using. In order to determine the correct place to screw the front hooks onto the front, which we will do in the next step, we are simply going to use these marking jigs. This is by far the easiest way to establish the correct position for fixing the front hooks to the front. All of the measurements you need are specified in the installation instructions, which you can find in the link below. So, the first step is to place the marking jigs on the front of our model. One on the left side and one on the right side. Now I can place the front against the drawer and transfer the positions of the hooks from the marking jigs to the front. And here is another little tip for you with this step. I've made myself a spacer strip. See this? That will make it easier for me to align the front. I can place it right here in front of the cabinet, put the front on top, and now everything is perfectly flush, including at the top. The front is 4 mm narrower than the cabinet, so there's a 2 mm gap on each side. And now I can align it by eye, leaving about 2 mm on the right and 2 mm on the left. All I need to do now is tap the front with the flat of my hand, like so, and the points of the marking jigs will mark where the holes should be on the front. Now we simply need to make these marks a bit bigger, and we will do this by using my favorite tool, the automatic center punch. This will make the holes a little larger and therefore make them easier to see, which will then make it easier to screw the front hooks on. Simply place the center punch on the mark and press it straight down. Do this for all the holes here and on the other side too. And now you can clearly see the exact position where the front hooks will be screwed on. So we'll screw the front hooks on here, and then we'll screw an extra installation hook on at the top as well. You can use standard chipboard screws to do this. It's perfectly fine to use 2 screws to attach the front hooks. 2 screws is enough. Make sure that the front hooks are attached in a perfectly straight position and not mounted at a slight angle. And once everything is screwed in, we can mount the front. And that is the last screw. All done. Now we can remove the marking jigs from the drawer sides. They sit securely and firmly in the drawer, which means that nothing will move around when you fit them in the first place. And now we can move on to mounting the front. To do this, we need to open the drawer and attach the front by slotting the installation hook into the bottom of the drawer side. Do this on both sides, like so, and on the other side too. It then sits like that. Now close the drawer and make sure that everything is correctly aligned with the cabinet, then press straight down in the middle. As you just heard, it should click into place nicely. And now the front is attached to the drawer. If I want to remove the front again now, the process is almost equally as easy. I simply need this lever here. There's a small lever on the underside of the drawer side, and if I pull it back, I can easily release the front and lift it upwards. As you can see, these are the front hooks and the installation hook that we just screwed onto the front. I'll demonstrate the attachment process again on the model so it's easier for you to see. I don't even need to touch the lever. I can simply insert the hook, position the top of the front, then press down. And when I hear that clicking sound, I know that the front has been attached correctly. Now, this model here makes it possible to adjust everything in 3 different directions, so that we can achieve the perfect front panel alignment. Currently, there's a small offset here, which means that the front is slightly too far down, so the cabinet protrudes a little. And now we can adjust the height of the entire assembly. Let's do that now. How do I adjust the height? We have 2 fixing screws here. These are the top 2 screws, or the top one and the middle one. The smaller ones are the fixing screws. Simply undo each of these screws by a 1/4 turn, which then allows you to use the bottom screw to precisely adjust the height of the drawer, or rather, the height of the front. And once you have made the adjustment, you can then simply tighten the 2 screws again in order to fix the front exactly in this position and at this height. If you open the drawer, the process looks like this. Undo the fixing screws on each side. And then you can use the height adjustment screw to raise the front up or lower it down. I can even leave the screwdriver in the screw head, close the drawer, check everything again, and now use the screw to move the drawer front upwards. Turn the screw towards the back panel, by which I mean in the direction of the back panel. And now you can see that it's really very easy and convenient to precisely adjust the front. I still need a little bit more. That should do it. And now the front is perfectly flush with the top edge of the cabinet. Needless to say, we need to do this on the opposite side too. Go here, turn it upwards, and check everything. Once both sides have been adjusted and are perfect, then tighten the 2 fixing screws on each side. Now the height of the front is fixed, and it won't move anymore. As you can see, everything can be easily and precisely adjusted with a very simple crosshead screwdriver. Now we have the second adjustment, which is the side adjustment. I need to make sure that there's a 2 mm gap on the left side and the same on the right. Let's take a look. Here on the left, I can see a little bit less of the cabinet than I can on the right, which means I need to move the front to the right slightly. This is extremely easy to do, and you don't even need any tools. Open the drawer. Put your fingers on the levers at the bottom like before, then pull or push the levers backwards. Now you can move the front to the right or to the left with the palms of your hands. So it's relatively easy, and you don't need any tools. You can now check everything again. And now you see that the gap has moved, or rather that the front has moved, and now we have the perfect gap. The procedure looks like this. As I said, you use the same levers as we used before, and if you push them backwards like this, you can move the front either to the left or to the right. Now we have the third type of adjustment, which is available in the H122 and H168 models, and also in the H250. I'm talking about the integrated tilt angle adjustment mechanism. The tilt angle can be adjusted here using the screw at the back. This is a crosshead screw again. And like before, I can place the screwdriver here and turn the screw forwards, that is, towards the front. And then the drawer will tilt, so to speak, downwards at the front. The purpose of this is to adjust the gaps at the sides between the front and the cabinet. If you look closely now, for example, there is a small gap here at the bottom, however it is flush at the top. This means, exaggeratedly speaking, that the front is not straight. But I can adjust it to make it perfect again using the integrated tilt angle adjustment mechanism by placing my screwdriver at the back and then turning the screws forwards on both sides to adjust the gap or gaps at the sides. And with that, we have now reached the end of the adjustment video for the Nova Pro Scala. We've adjusted the height, we've adjusted the sides, and we've adjusted the tilt angle too. You will find more useful information and links to our products in the description. If you have any questions about this product or others, please write them in the comments below. And if you want to know how to change the design element in the Nova Pro Crystal Plus, or even how to fit and install it in the first place, make sure to watch the next video because I've explained everything in detail there. I wish you all the best and hope that you have lots of fun with your projects.